Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to this edition of the Mark and Mark Show. And I'm here with my good friend, my buddy. He's not my lover. He's just my friend. Mark, how you doing today?
Mark, I'm doing good. I saw the rumors going around that we had been grounded, and that's why we're not doing any shows. And I just wanted everybody to know that was not true. We were not grounded. And that's the case.
Well, I don't know about that, Mark, because it looks like you might have gotten beat up by your mother for something. I mean, God knows what you did, but I see you got a little gig. Hey, listen, Mark, in wrestling, we use the term gig. I don't know if you know that or not. I know I'm a little bit more advanced than you, but it looks like you got a little gig on your forehead. Would you mind explaining that?
Well, I'm going to throw a term right back at you, Mark, and I like when we talk about these because we're really educating the people since we know so much about the industry. But this was the hard way. I took this the hard way. Saturday after brunch, I had to defend my backyard hardcore championship, and I took a shot to the head in that match.
So you got that you got that gig the hard way.
The hard way, yes. And for what that means is this is real, man. This is legit.
That's real blood.
And all 6 people that were watching the match saw it and they screamed.
Unbelievable. Okay, now listen, Mark, we've got a special guest on that has joined us today. We got the Mark, and the MAK show. We got MAK with us today. MAK, how you doing there today? MAK, we seem to be having some technical difficulties.
I'm sorry.
MAK, listen, get your poop together. MAK, this is your first time on the show. We are professionals. Mark and me are professionals. Is your microphone working?
It's working now. I think it was a conspiracy from that Vince Russo, who's not pleased with things I've had to say about him on the internet.
Now, Mark, listen, Mark, this is the first time. Listen, I did the Google search because I'm looking for the biggest stars on the internet wrestling community to come on the show. I stumbled across you. I don't know much about you, so the first thing I need to ask you is, are you suffering from a cold at the present moment, or is this the way you always present yourself?
Well, this is actually my mother's fault. I don't want to actually speak about Mom, you forgot to chew the crust off my bread again.
I hate when that happens.
It's impossible to find good, free, health these days. So,
well, MAK, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? This being your first time on the Mark and Mark show.
Well, this would be the Mark and Mark show, but because I'm originally a correspondent for TNA, and everyone knows at this point, TNA can't afford the letter R, okay? Not only can they not afford an R, they're sort of rethinking the letter A, too. If I show up next week, I might actually be called MAK. The only way...
Well, MAK, I gotta tell you something. From what I'm reading on the Observer. Listen, MAK, I don't know about you. I read the Wrestling Observer. From what I'm reading now, everything was okay, with the full word Mark, but then TNA kind of fell behind on the payments to the R. At which time the R was then removed from the MAK, thus making it MAK. So let's just clarify that.
The only way TNA is going to ever use the word R again is if it's in the word bankruptcy. Okay.
Okay, MAK, now I contacted you. You said you'd love to come on the Mark and Mark show, that you have a lot of things you want to say. a lot of things you need to get off your chest. So I'm going to give you the floor first as the guest. How would you like to open up this edition of Mark and Mark with MAK?
How could we talk about anything else in the wrestling business for the next 20 years without talking? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Did you see Daniel Bryan's retirement speech?
Yeah. It was a very sad day. Mark, how did you feel about that?
It was sad for me as well. You know, when you think about, I don't know if next time I go to a show, am I going to be able to do this? This is what I want to do, and if he's not going to be there, I think we should start doing this during everything.
Well, Mark, thank God. Listen, I hear what you're saying. Now you go to the WWE show. Do we do this? Is it train right infringement? Did Daniel Bryan copyright this? But Mark, thank God. Thank God. One thing, Mark and MAK. We know we still have. You ready, Mark and MAK? Down with is awesome. This is awesome.
And we have Kevin Owens.
And we have Kevin Owens. But listen, Kevin Owens, that's a whole other 2 hours. Let's stick, MAK, I don't want to get you off track. Let's stick to Daniel Bryan and the feelings and the emotions. Whatever it is that you want to say about the retirement.
Oh, Dave Meltzer called it the greatest promo ever delivered.
Well, listen, you know, MAK, I don't know about you. I'm putting it right up there with Lou Gehrig.
All there.
You know, today. I consider myself. The luckiest man on the face of the earth. The Daniel Bryan retirement speech blew away the speech of the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig. But MAK, go ahead. The floor is yours again.
He called it the greatest promo ever, but he's actually wrong. And I should know because, as you can plainly see, I am a part of the wrestling press, okay? Daniel Bryan not only delivered the greatest in-ring promo of all time, he actually transcended verbal communication entirely. Public speaking as we know it is hereby obsolete. Which is why, for the remainder of this show, I will be communicating entirely in Morse code through a series of blinks.
Well, Mark, listen to this. Mark and MAK. If the Daniel Bryan retirement speech wasn't enough, Mark, now the Brie is talking about retirement. But you know what I say about that, Mark? Thank God for that. Thank God Brie Bella's retired. That girl doesn't know how to work. She doesn't know Hakuna Matata from Hakuna Matata. Thank God Brie Bella is going to take away the misery of having to watch that knockout body every week on the Raw television show. What do you think about that, Mark?
One down, one to go as far as the Bellas go. Let's get these out of here. These girls that think that they can wrestle, and we all know they can't work. Listen, when you're talking in-ring work, we don't want these models, good-looking girls. We want actual, real wrestlers that can really work. So this is going to clear a spot for somebody to come in that can absolutely do this work. Now, if we can just get Nikki out of there as well, I think that the Divas Revolution will actually start occurring.
Mark, maybe they bring in, listen, we keep our fingers crossed. If we keep our fingers crossed, we say our prayers, we take our vitamins and all that, maybe they bring in somebody from Japan. A female from Japan that can't speak the language to replace Brie Bella. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I want Mac's thoughts on this because I know he's big into covering NXT, but I think Asuka should be the Divas champion right now. There's no question. Why is she in NXT? She should be the Divas champion on Raw.
What are your feelings on this, Mac?
I don't think women should ever wrestle. I think their place is in the kitchen as my mother making me bologna sandwiches. Okay? That's all I think about the Divas division.
Yeah, well,
Unless they know 1,900 and a half moves, the half is really important. They should not be anywhere near a wrestling ring, or else they are dishonoring the memory of all of the great human beings who have ever stepped into a wrestling ring. Great human beings, good people, people like Chris Benoit. Okay, good people. All right, that's what I think.
yeah. Well, you know, Mark, I love the one down, one to go. But let's move on to another topic. And I see the shirt behind you, Mark. Say something, Mark, so that people can see the shirt that I'm in reference to.
Yes, a great shirt that was donated to the show. So thank you, big Mark and Mark fans. As you can clearly see, I love Kevin Owens.
Now, Mark and Mac, listen, fill in the blanks if I'm wrong. But I've seen every wrestling organization on the face of this planet. I've seen everything from the WWE, the TNA, the Lucha Underground, the NXT, the New Japan, the AAA. What else? Yeah, Mac, am I forgetting anything? What other ones are out there?
YMCA, clearly.
YMCA, clearly. The Backyard Wrestling, you know, Bombay Championship Wrestling. That was one of my favorites. Mark, am I missing anything?
I doubt it. I really don't see you missing anything.
I used to have an e-fed over email. You could put that in there.
And any e-fed. We'll throw the e-feds in there. But, guys, I want to listen. I want to take the minute to repaint the picture. You know, this is almost, Mac, like a Picasso. Mac, you know who Picasso is?
Kevin Owens?
No, Picasso was a great painter. A great painter. I think he did the 16th Chapel or something like this. But I'm going to paint this picture. Did you guys see the opening match this Monday night on the Raw? In the very first bout of the match, I saw something I never had seen before in the wrestling business, and quite frankly, I never seen it before because I didn't think it was humanly possible. There were 4 men, 4 wrestlers, in all 4 corners of the ring at once. Listen, why they were all 4 corners of the ring at once? That's arguable. That's arguable. How did they wind up in the same spot? That's arguable, and that's not what I'm here to talk about. But what I'm here to talk about, Mac, is one by one, Kevin Owens did that cannonball from the middle of the ring, ass first, right into the face of the opponent. Not once, Mac, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times, Mac, which, quite frankly, I didn't think that was humanly possible. Now, Mac, what did you think about that array and that display of athleticism on behalf of Mr. Owens?
9.5 stars. Everything has to be rated via the star system, Mark, okay? You have to remember that. Always the star system, okay? And
Mac, I gotta ask you this, Mac. Listen, we gotta ask the tough questions on this show. There ain't no softballs. Why does he lose half a star, Mac? You said 9.5 stars. Is this not a 10 on a scale of 10?
Here's why. My mother was vacuuming at the time, and her backside briefly blocked a corner of the screen.
Understandable.
So, just allowing for the unknown factor, I have to give it take one half off.
And that is completely understandable.
Yes.
Mark,
Hey, did you see? Speaking of what, did you see the remarks of Vince Russo about Kevin Owens? Did you see? That Vince Russo makes me so mad. Okay, I'm so mad.
well,
Calling Kevin Owens fat. If you're out there watching our videos, Vince, which I know you do every night while touching yourself, I've got some news for you, buddy. Vince Russo, Kevin Owens is a prize fighter. Okay? It just so happens the prize is cookie dough. That's all. That's the only thing. No one's ever mentioned that, but he is a prize fighter.
Well, I do want to applaud WWE Security because I'm not sure if you all saw the breaking news this morning, but a fan had brought a Kevin Owens' fat sign to SmackDown, and the security took it away. So I just want to applaud security. Obviously, Kevin Owens not fat. This fan probably got this from Vince Russo and brought it to the arena. And we don't need that kind of trash for a professional athlete.
Wait a minute, Mark. You mean to tell me that they took the sign away and this son of a gun wasn't arrested? Wasn't arrested for the obscenity of calling Kevin Owens overweight, large, obese? He wasn't arrested? Bro, I hear that these arenas, they got like the arena jail, down in the basement. Did they at least put the guy in the arena jail for having such obscenity in the building?
Not that I saw, and I don't know if we need to put that blame on the local PD. I've already sent them a few emails this morning. I think you both should do it as well. But I believe WWE Security did everything in their power to make sure that this blasphemy, this slander, will not make it on air on this ridiculous sign. Because obviously, look at Kevin Owens and why anybody would say that he's fat or even bring a sign. We don't need that propaganda out there.
It's libel. It's slander. Okay? It's prosecutable by U.S. law, all right, is the bottom line. And I know that because I'm a legal expert as well as a wrestling expert, okay? But that's the entire problem right there. Just no respect for a real, true in-ring technician like Kevin Owens. And that Vince Russo should be slapped in irons too. He just should be.
Mac, listen, this Vince Russo, I don't pay any attention to the guy anymore. Block button, blocked. I pay no attention anymore to what this individual has to say. But listen.
I tried subscribing to his Vince Russo brand, but there was just too much negativity.
Yeah.
Everyone knows all negativity should be reserved for TNA. All right, period. End of story.
Mark, I gotta ask you a question. Is that a tire gauge in your pocket? Are you in the automobile industry as a side job? Why would you have a tire pressure gauge in the pocket?
I was wondering why this pen wasn't writing. Thank you for pointing that out. I actually appreciate that.
Okay, no problem. Hey, Mark, you're a little quiet today, and I think you might have a lot of things on your mind. But listen, can I say one thing, Mark? Because I'd like to get your comments on this. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
We just spoke about the jackass Vince Russo. Blocked. But what now? They're starting to get smart. To this Jeff Lane character. Now that they're starting to look into exactly who is this guy. They're starting to refer to him as Lazy Lane. Doesn't do any work. Doesn't look up any facts. God forbid the guy does a podcast. God forbid he looks up a fact. They're starting to say, which I got to tell you, I don't like to get personal, but I do personally agree with this. They're starting to say he has the face only a mother could love. They're also starting to say he's got a man-child face. They talk about the receding hairline. They give Russo all the problems, but now it seems like this Lane character, now this Lane character is starting to get called out for who he really is. What do you think about that?
It's about time. It's absolutely about time. And I've sent numerous emails on 37 different accounts letting them know how terrible this guy is. He's out of shape. He's got a face for radio and a voice for nothing.
I usually describe Zeppelin by saying he has a face for radio and a voice for silent films. Okay. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
5 stars.
And you know, it's funny because Mark and Mac, Vince Russo's always saying on his shows, and this is why I know he's the biggest hypocrite. He's always saying on his shows, to be a star, you have to look like a star. Well, Mr. Russo, does Jeff Lane look like a star?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He looks like somebody, quite frankly, you'd see on the corner panhandling, looking for nickels and dimes, and maybe a can of Coke and maybe half a bologna sandwich. That's what he looks like to me. Mac, I don't know about what's your impression of the Jeff Lane character?
I just don't understand. I just don't understand how he can be allowed to be in that position. Okay? Not knowing basic facts, okay? Basic, important facts in wrestling. Like the fact, his argument is always, along with that Vince Russo makes me so bad. They're always arguing there should be more story in wrestling. No, there should be more wrestling in wrestling. Not only should there be more wrestling, instead of talking, they should actually put wrestling in the talking. Vince McMahon should end his WWE shareholder calls with a Fujiwara armbar and 19 false finishes. That's what I said. That would be 5 stars right there. 5 stars. Jeff Lane is just one other parasite trying to push this ridiculous position.
Well, you know what?
Oh, sorry. I apologize. I'm acting like Vince Russo.
I was just gonna say, you know, Mac and Mark. I was just gonna say, listen. What is it called? It's called wrestling. It's called wrestling. It's called wrestling. It's not called talking. It's not called the storyline show. It's not called the character show. It's called wrestling. It's a wrestling show. It's not rocket science, fellas. It's a wrestling show.
By the way, I just want to clarify. When I say more wrestling in the talking, I don't mean talking and wrestling like in those Botchamania episodes where you can clearly hear John Cena admit out loud that he's a member of Al-Qaeda. Okay? But I don't mean like that. I mean more wrestling. Whenever I open my mouth, I just want a wrestling match to break out. That's how it should go. That's how it should be. Always. And always in black boots and black trunks with the first and last name. Every time, because it's a legitimate competition.
Well, that's if you like the Attitude Era and you like sports entertainment, you are not a wrestling fan, okay? You're not. You don't understand the business. It's not, Mark, you said it. Wrestling is in the title. It's not World Story Entertainment. It's not World Talking Entertainment. It's World Wrestling Entertainment. Wrestling. Competition, sports, in-ring action. Give us the action.
Exactly. On a side note, isn't Botchamania just amazing? Isn't it just amazing? Like, the most important program of our time. And, by the way, only a British person would be witty enough to spell the name Matthew with 2 Fs. That's just science, okay, people? That's just science.
Well, listen, you know, Mark, I want to move up to a Mac. I want to move up. I want to talk about, you know, uplifting things. But before I do, I just want to pay kudos. Let's just end the Vince Russo talk. We wasted enough time on this guy, but I just want to pay kudos. I want to pay kudos to somebody. There was a certain individual this past week, Mac and Mark, in TNA management, a part of the TNA management team. I believe this individual is a grown man. I believe he's in his 40s, so to speak. But you know, there Vince Russo once again, you know, critiquing, you know, how matches are laid out. Like Vince Russo spent the 20 years in the wrestling business. Like Vince Russo had, you know, private conversations with, you know, the genius Pat Patterson. Like Vince Russo actually knows something about the how these wrestling matches are laid out. What is going on?
My mom is calling. I gotta take this. It's my mom. Yes, mother. Doing a show. I told you. There's people watching this. You're so embarrassing. Why are you calling me when I'm on the air? Yes, I'm wearing clean underwear. The ones you laid out on the bed. Mom, I haven't had the skid mark issue since I was 22. Why do you always bring that up? I'm a grown man. Okay, I love you too, Mommy. Bye. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Sometimes my mom can be so stressful. I can't take it. Oh, I don't know how Austin does that. Oh.
I heard on the internet that he didn't drink real beer. That's how he did it. I heard it on the internet, so you know it's true. And that's factual. It's a fact.
Oh, I think I'm drunk already.
Mark, I think we should listen. We're trying to do a professional show. Maybe
I'm so sorry. Listen,
maybe,
I told my mom. I told her not to call. I want to hear what you're talking about with this executive in TNA.
okay.
Please, I'm so sorry.
This TNA executive and management did not like some of the things that Vince Russo had to say about the agenting of the matches and how, you know, there's no more game. This is Russo. Yeah, there's no more psychology in matches anymore. It's Circus Soleil. It's Beatlemania. It's Ringling Brothers. Okay, we get it, Russo. We've heard it a million times. But thank God we have this person in TNA management who heard the criticism of Vince Russo. And this hero, I'm going to refer to him as a hero. Is that okay with you guys? The voice of the people. The voice of the people. This guy, this Martin Luther King Jr. Because what he had to say speaks for everybody. And he referred to Vince Russo, finally put him in his place as a piece of shit, as a jilted ring rat.
What?
A jilted ring rat. Mark,
What?
listen, let me explain to you what a... Mark, you're doing the what chant in the middle of the show.
It's so fun. If you're gonna... You have to understand, if you're going to cut a promo with pauses, you're getting the whats. That's how we run things in the WWE universe.
All right, listen, Mark, my name is Mark. And I thought I was going to have to explain. I used the term there, Mark, that only if you're in the business you understand this term. And the term is the ring rat. He referred to Russo as a jilted ring rat. Mr. MAK, I know you're educated and well-versed in this business. Can you please explain to my co-host, Mark, what is the term ring rat mean to us insiders on the business?
From what I understand, when a man really loves a woman, they'll go to a bed, an actual bed, laying it together. And then, I'm going to be honest, the details are a little hazy for me, but this symbol was involved. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm not entirely sure.
Mac, do that again.
I hope your mother isn't home, Mac. I hope your mother isn't home. I hope she doesn't put this on the YouTube and see you doing that, Mac.
No, she's off chewing more crust off my bologna sandwich. Actually, is what she's doing right now. So I'm safe. I'm safe for the time being. But speaking of vile descriptions, or accurate descriptions of a vile human being, rather. Did you hear the new Jim Cornette podcast? Did you hear that? I was, for once, speaking of heroes, Jim Cornette, I was very disappointed with his physical description of Vince Russo as, quote, a greasy Italian. Okay? Everybody knows that once Vince Russo went to WCW, sorry, I'm having breathing problems. Everybody knows that once Vince Russo went to WCW, he immediately, spontaneously sprouted horns, a pointy tail, and began wielding a trident. So Jim Cornette, -5 stars for you, my friend. -5 stars.
Well, I think this TNA executive, MAK and Mark, I think he summed it up. When in one word, this executive at TNA, the management team, and one word on the social media, he referred to Vince Russo as a bitch. I think that about sums it up. The guy's a bitch. The guy's a bitch. What? Hold on. What? Listen, I'm 55 years old. If I want to say the word bitch in my own basement, I can say the word bitch. I pay you the rent. I'm allowed to say the word bitch. Bitch, bitch, bitch. I think that about sums it up. Bitch. What else more can you say about this man? Listen, guys, I want to move on to something else. And I've saved this for the end, MAK and Mark, because I don't know if we're worthy. I don't know if the three of us combined, if you took the three of us combined and you put us all in one ball, you molded us in one big ball, Mark, and MAK, and we're one big ball of Mark, and MAK, I don't know if we're worthy of this. Mark, I'm going to start with you. And I'm just going to say 2 letters. 2 letters, Mark. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Mark. A.J.
First off, before I get into AJ, I just want to slightly correct you because we've all changed together. So if we're all together, it's not going to be one giant ball. It's going to be 6 giant balls. You know what I'm saying? If all of us are rolled together. 6 giant balls right there.
6 balls as in testicles?
Yes. The fact that...
Yes, mother! Yes, they said that word. Relax, okay? I will be out there in a moment to eat my bologna sandwich. Sorry. Continue.
There's nothing more important than bologna. You never have to apologize for a bologna sandwich, especially to get that put together the right way. Very difficult to get somebody to be able to do that for you as you're going through right now. I'm sorry. I tend to ramble when I'm drinking a lot of beer. Hold on a second.
Hashtag bologna sandwich, yes. Hashtag.
Worldwide trend every day. Michael Cole just told me it's trending #1 right now.
As we all know, it is always true when he says that. It's never a bold-faced lie.
That's correct. And with AJ, I'm kind of torn right now, Mark.
What?
Mark, will we need to have class again? You say it during a pause, not while I'm talking.
What?
I thought my mother was embarrassing. You guys are taking the cake.
Okay, go ahead. Please.
I
won't say more. I won't say what no more.
I led you right into a good what. Okay. But this is where I'm a little torn on AJ, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay? I have full faith in what the WWE does with their superstars. They always get these people over to the best of their ability, especially the new people. So I want to have faith that the same is going to happen for AJ. But he lost to Chris Jericho on SmackDown, main event. I think it was a screwed up match because I think the finish was screwed up because I'm not sure if you saw, but that idiot Rudy Charles was the referee, and he messes up a lot of finishes. So I'm sure that AJ was probably supposed to win. Rudy Charles screwed up the finish. Maybe that's my benefit of the doubt, but I just don't I don't like to see him lose to Chris Jericho, because that wouldn't happen.
Mark, hold on a minute. I have to supersede once again, because Mark, listen, I know how knowledgeable you are in this business, and you throw around these terms assuming we all know. Everybody out there knows these terms. Don't you understand, Mark? I hate that. We always have to go through this. As leaders in the internet wrestling community, not everybody knows what we know. You have to understand. You can't use the jargon of the finish.
It's true. It's like being a Jedi, is what it is.
It's like being a Jedi. Like Max said. Can you please clarify the finish? When is the finish? You said the finish. He screwed up the finish. When is the finish?
Well, Mark, obviously you're right. Not everybody knows these terms, but you know, that's why we're here and we talk about this stuff, because you're not a real wrestling fan unless you know every inside word and term in the business. So I just assume that only real wrestling fans watch this and they know these terms, and I shouldn't assume. You're correct. But a finish means the finale of the match, what happens as we get the 3 count, as we get the pin.
Okay, then you could just clarify it for the people out there. Not everybody is a part of this community that we are blessed to be a part of. Mac, when I say the 2 initials, AJ, what comes to mind immediately?
Win, lose, or draw. I would let AJ Styles touch parts of my body that no adult authority figure has seen since I was an altar boy. Okay? He is a great, great, great man. He has never had any match that is less than 19 stars. I'm going to be honest, I don't know where this star scale ends. It's still kind of a work in progress. I'm not really sure what the upper limit on it is, though. But he would, however, have to stand in line to do it, right behind Dave Meltzer and the Solomonster. Because when I need my run-of-the-mill WWE propaganda-fueled suppositions reinforced, boy, Dave Meltzer is on my speed dial. Okay? Just bottom line.
Bottom line.
Let me ask you, fine gentlemen, this, because I tend to have these dreams when I'm sleeping, and I had one the other night. Try to control yourselves while I'm describing this, please. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. Okay, calm down. Okay, I'm dreaming of this match, okay? And I wake up in the morning, and I felt kind of funny, like down in the lower regions, and I didn't know what was going on. My mom said it is something called an election. I don't know what that was, but this dream, it got me so, like, butterflies and weird inside. But could you imagine? I mean, I know they've set Triple H and the winner of Fastlane as the main event of WrestleMania. They still got time to change that to AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. Gentlemen, debate.
All I know is I think I had that exact same dream, but when I woke up, my underpants were gooey. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I think I might have been attacked.
Now, Mark, when you say you use this word election, you said I think they call it an election. Is this a wrestling term? Is this an insider wrestling term that maybe I do not know yet? This election?
My mother kind of speaks with a lisp, so I don't know if that was the actual term, but I don't want her to think I didn't know what I was talking about, so I didn't pry.
Okay.
But she's probably wrong. It's probably not even a real thing.
Now, Mark, when you talk about AJ Styles and Kevin Owens Steen, you know what my response to that is? You know what do you two gentlemen, Mac and Mark, want to know my response?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Here's my response. You ready? Here. Look. Ready? Here it is. I'm going to look right into the camera for you guys. Ready? Do you know, Mark? Do you know what that response is? Let me give it to you again. Hold on. What is that, Mark? You know what that is?
It's the look of not being worthy. I'll tell you that.
I recognize that look from TNA's audience. That's all.
Well, exactly, Mac. Because what it is. Here, let me give it to you one more time, and I'll tell you what it is. That's the look of speechless. When you listen, I don't get into this much on the show. When I was a kid, I received the communion, the confirmation, and I believed there was a God. Okay? A God. The key word, a God. One God. One. But when you talk about the idea of not one, but putting two gods in a wrestling ring at the same time to compete, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, speechless.
But two gods in the same... That sounds like Armageddon. Which, by the way, I don't know. This is really inside wrestling information that a lot of people don't know. That used to be the name of a WWE pay-per-view, is Armageddon. I don't know if you're aware. I don't know. That very obscure information, I found it on a website that I trust very much.
But Mac, hypothetically, because listen, this is not the chances of two gods in one wrestling ring, at one time, is equivalent to Tyler Breeze getting over. It's like it's just not going to happen. But hypothetically, Mac, if AJ Styles and Kevin Owens were to step into the same ring, do you have words that can describe this?
Resplendent. But then again, I know a lot more words than the average person because I, as you can see, am a member of the press, of the internet, the new press, the more important press, the very, very highly important press.
The new press order. New press order.
Hashtag new press order.
New press order. Mark, paint the picture in your mind now.
I would be praying for the rapture to happen at that moment because there would be nothing else in life worth living. And as I am being raised in the air, I would have my hands on Kevin Owens' shoulders because I've never seen Jesus Christ do a running cannonball into a corner.
No, listen. Listen. Jesus Christ did a lot of things. I even think he walked on a swimming pool. I think so. It's somewhere in the Bible he said he walked on a swimming pool. A cannonball? Only one guy can do that.
Yeah, plus, look how many promos the guy cut. That's all he did was cut promos. Like, he never even did any action or athletics. Cutting promos all the time.
Kevin Owens has far more power than Jesus Christ. Because let's really examine it. Every time he does a highly devastating move, he uses his powers to make his adversary magically get better the next week, and there's absolutely no consequences whatsoever.
Yes,
and they have the exact same match over again. That's what I think. I think that's power, actually. And he's clearly been turning a lot of water into wine because the gun is expanding a little bit, which is just more Kevin Owens to love, as far as I'm concerned. It's fantastic. He should continue turning fishes into loaves and so forth.
Yes, and from what I heard, Jesus Christ was absolutely terrible at kayfabing. I heard you could hear him call Spot before he turned water into wine.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you guys a hypothetical question while we're on this question. In the Bible, there's a story that all of Jesus was supposed to give this talk. And, they were expecting, the neighbors to show up, a couple of neighbors to show up, maybe a couple of kids to show up, okay? And they prepared like a loaf of bread and a piece of fish because they're expecting the next door neighbors to show up. I don't know if you gentlemen are familiar with this story. But anyway, to make a long story short, hundreds and thousands of people came from all over the place to listen to this Jesus talk. All over the place. And all he had was the one bread and the one fish. So they said,
sounds
Jesus.
To me like Jesus was hot-shotting the territory.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was hot-shotting the territory, but everybody said, Jesus, listen, how you got one the fish and the one the bread, how are you going to feed all these people? And then all of a sudden, Jesus said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. All of a sudden, there was enough bread and enough fish to feed the thousands. So my hypothetical question to you two guys is, if there was enough bread and enough fish to feed the thousands, if Kevin Owens was the last one to arrive at the dinner table, would there have been enough fish and the bread to cover his appetite? Mark?
I feel like you're taking. I feel like you're taking a jab, Mark.
A liberty? I took a liberty. Yeah.
You're reaching the. Listen, I'm trying to hold back my anger. Because it's not funny, Mark. You're trying to be funny. It's not funny.
Not funny.
It's not funny. Do I need to have security take you away? I know what you're trying to do here. You're trying to get me riled up.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Mark. I just thought, it came to me. I thought it was a funny story. He's feeding these thousands of people, but, Kevin Owens comes, there's not enough food. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. MAK, I'm sorry.
Just between you and me, Mark, I don't think there would be enough table. That's just me, though. It's just me. It's only a joke. It's only a joke.
Mark, before we wrap up this edition of Mark, and MAK, any last words, any last thing you'd like to talk about, Mark?
I'm going to plead to the WWE. I'm sure they'll do the right thing as they always do. With Nakamura coming in, there's no need to stop in NXT. There's no need to change his name. I would like to see him do a run-in possibly during the main event of WrestleMania if he can't get, ready to be in the match. That will be okay. We could just do a run-in. And I'm hoping...
Black boots and black trunks. Black boots, black trunks every time.
Preferably, yes. That's a good call, MAK. That's a very good call. That's why I love having MAK on the show today, because he's bringing all this stuff that I just... Listen, it's hard for me to remember all this stuff when I'm fueled by this. You know what I mean? But at least let's get him running in the main event of WrestleMania with his name. It doesn't need to be changed, and I hope he just destroys everybody.
MAK, do you have any last comments you'd like to make?
Have you seen NXT's ratings? They're just in the stratosphere. They're in the stratosphere. They shouldn't even debut him on Raw. They should just put him on NXT. They should have NXT be the A show. That's exactly what they should do. Because God knows when Triple H takes over, it's going to be 1,000 times better than it is right now. And I know that because I heard it on the internet.
Yeah, well, I'm not even, quite frankly, MAK, I'm not even worthy of saying those three letters. I'm you all right?
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even worthy of saying those three letters. So, I just don't say them. They're just not in my vocabulary. I'm not worthy of saying those three letters. But, gentlemen, listen. Let's keep supporting this WWE. Let's keep on. Here's my goal for 2016, fellas. Here's my goal. I want to see what you guys think about this. You ready? Mark, you ready?
I'm ready.
MAK?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. What? What?
What?
What?
What?
What? Listen, this is my goal for 2016. Mark, are you strapped into your chair?
I am strapped right in.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, you were talking to that Mark.
Yeah. Mark, you strapped in?
Strapped in.
Yeah. You ready, guys? 4 hours. I'm proposing a 4-hour Raw, starting at 7, ending at 11, 4 hours of the most compelling wrestling on the face of this planet, our planet Earth. What do you think about that, fellas?
Boy, even Gilligan only did a 3-hour tour. I mean, 4 hours. Only WWE can pull off something that masterful. If anyone could do it, I know it would be the E. And I think that 4th hour should be nothing but Black Boots, Black Trunks wrestlers, first name, last name, from NXT. That's what I think. From the indie circuit, from Puerto Rico, where they throw batteries at wrestlers.
Mark, what are your thoughts on the 4-hour Raw?
It's a great proposal, Mark. I just think there would have to be certain stipulations to make sure that it was successful. What are we adding in that 4th hour? We need to add longer matches. I think that would work. I think if we got both Bellas out of there, that would work. If we got Roman Reigns out of there, because I don't think Roman Reigns can do the 43, 44-minute match that would need to make that 4 hours successful. So
Roman Reigns is really busy with his duties in ISIS. So it's really important that he have time to do that, all right? Roman Reigns is just the cancer of wrestling, as we all know. Anytime he shows up, in fact, I just hear the name Roman Reigns. I was in the same hemisphere as Reigns once, and I just started booing, just reflexively. Just booing right off the bat, all right? And that's how it should be.
So, Mark, you're for the 4 hours then?
If done correctly, absolutely. I don't think the television landscape would ever be the same after that. I think you'd see a lot of programs moving from Monday nights to a different night. I think if done correctly, it's a masterful and genius idea, Mark.
Okay, well, listen, gentlemen, it's been my honor and my pleasure. You know, Mark, as always, MAK, for joining us here today. Did you enjoy your stint on the Mark and Mark show?
I am humbled by the professionalism of this program compared to all other forms of internet wrestling media.
Well, thank you. I take that into high praise. And listen, gentlemen, and when I'm looking at reflecting on this last show that the three of us did, there's only one thing that comes to mind, and I'd like to close out the show with it, and I'd like you gentlemen to join me. When I think about this show that we just put on, gentlemen, there's only one thing that comes to mind. Do you know what that is, Mark?
There's an infinite number of answers.
But you know what the answer is, Mark? You ready?
I'm ready.
MAK, you ready?
My body is ready.
That was awesome. That was awesome. What? What?
What? What?
What? What?
We are awesome.
We are awesome.
And don't forget the CM Punk chants. You can't forget the CM Punk chants.
CM Punk, everybody. We'll see you next time.